صل على رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير. The respected elders, young brothers and friends, and my honorable mothers and sisters. Three odd nights of us are odd nights. Those who have worshipped of Laylatul Qadr and those who haven't, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free all of us from the hellfire. Yesterday, last night, in the Salatul Taraweeh, the portion from the 30th juz, all of it, but just above or over half of the juz they recited. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states regarding some sources of food for human beings. There are 7 sources of food which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides the human beings. On the basis of this, Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the chief of all the commentators, the cousin brother of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, given sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that, oh Allah, you teach Ibn Abbas and eventually he became the chief of the Quran. He has based his reasoning on this verse in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that there are 7 sources of food which we provide you, a human being. And the reasoning is, on one occasion, in the days of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, there was a gathering going on. He asked everyone, could you tell me in the last Ashra, we have been instructed by Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to search for the lights. So could you tell me in which night would the Laylatul or 23rd or 25th or 27th or 29th? All the Sahaba Ikram remained silent, and they said, Allah and His Rasul knows best. And then he turned around and he looked at Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was just a lad, a young boy. And he said to him, "Oh Ibn Abbas, what's your opinion on this? What do you say regarding?" Ibn Abbas, "O Amir al-Mu'mineen, when I looked at the Quran, I came to the conclusion that Allah created 7 heavens. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also has created 7 earths. And also in the 30th juz, in the Surah Abasa wa Tawalla, Allah mentioned 7 sources of food which He provides us. After having studied, I came to the conclusion that the Laylatul Qadr falls on the 27th of Ramadan. Hazrat Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said to all the companions, he said something that you couldn't even say. And this, tonight is 27th, and Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala, who has based his reasoning upon this, Laylatul Qadr falls on the 27th. Do not only rely on that, but ahead of us are 2 nights, 27th and 29th. We are going to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if Allah wills, inshallah, with His tawfiq and fazl. Tonight, which is 27th night, and also inshallah on 29th. Besides that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the recital just mentions, rather, 4 things. Of the heavens, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the oath of the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the oath of the day of Arafah, the 9th of the Hijjah, the day they gather in the plain of Arafah. And the 4th thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the oath of is a Friday. Now, Friday is a day regarding which we Muslims today only know that this we Muslims, and on this day we have to offer Salatul Jum'ah. To this extent, we know that this day is. But the virtues of this day, many Muslims are unaware of the virtues of this day, how blessed and how superior this day is. In one hadith, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, when a believer on Friday, he takes a bath, he has a bath, Allah Ta'ala forgives all his previous sins. And when he sets off for the Salatul Jummah, when he leaves his home, upon every step Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants him or writes in his book of deeds 20 good deeds. Masjid, Jummah behind the Imam, and then he leaves the masjid. Ujira bi amal Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says when he leaves the masjid after having performed the Salatul Jummah, he receives the reward of 200 years ibadat. Just to imagine how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards upon offering. And in another hadith, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, Friday is the leader of all the days in a week. Is a superior day in the sight of Allah, to the extent that this Friday is even superior than Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam carries on saying, Friday, Adam alayhi salam admitted into the paradise, and when he was sent down to the earth, it was Friday. And Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, the day he passed away, it was Friday. And he carries on saying, the Qiyamah is going to come. And then he says, when Friday comes, every creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the animals, the birds, and the sea in the ocean, they start trembling and they become fearful lest the Qiyamah may come. And yet here we find all the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trembles on Friday, and here we are, and we don't even stop committing sins on Friday. Subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath of Friday, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he instructed us that on Friday increase your sending of salutation. He says that you increase the amount of the salutation which you said on me. The Sahaba Kiram, they said to Prophet of Allah, salutation on you on Friday abundantly is presented to you. He said, yes, but there's a Prophet of Allah. By then you will become dust in the grave. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made haram on the earth to consume the bodies of the Anbiyas. So on Friday, our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, he instructed us to read more Durood Sharif and send more salutation of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because Friday, as Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Friday is the leader of all the days. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked us to send more salutation on him. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the oath of 4 things. Why? The reason is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the oath of 4 things because Allah is saying, I take an oath of Friday and the day of Arafah, the heavens. Allah Almighty, when He takes an oath of something, Allah wanted to show everyone and let everybody know the importance, how important this thing is in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the oath of 4 things that may the people of Trench be cursed and may they perish. And who are these people of Trench? The people of Trench, 20 years before the birth of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Yemen, there was a king whose name was Yusuf, and he was an infidel king. And in the hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, he had a magician, and who became the king to get me a young boy whom I can train about the skills of magician. So a boy was asked, and this boy, when he started going to the magician to learn the skills of magician, on his way, while he was went to the magician, there was a monk, Christian monk, who was on the true religion and the religion of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. And he sat with the monk who when he would get late, the magician came late. And this boy, when he was returning home and his way back to home, he would also again sit with the monk. And coming late at home, his parents would beat him up. Why you came late? One day, he was going and there was a beast, there was a lion sitting on the footpath, blocking everybody's way. Now he said to himself, today I will test who is untruth. He picked up a small stone. Dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, said, "Oh Allah, I will throw this stone at the lion. If the then oh Allah, through this small stone, kill the lion." I mean, just imagine, can someone kill us? No. So he makes a monk is untruth, then kill the lion. And if the magician is untruth, don't kill the lion. He threw the stone at the lion and the lion died. Now, that there is this boy who has such a knowledge that he threw a small stone at a lion and the lion died. A blind man, so many years. Eyesight. He said the condition is only one. If you embrace Islam, I believe, then I will make a dua to him. I remember one thing, when unusual thing happens on the hand of a very friend of Allah is known as the Karamat, American unusual thing. Nabi, it will be known as Mu'jiza, American. On the hand of a wali, it will be called a Karamat. But always never give any importance to the Karamats. Karamatul awliya haqqun. The karamat on the hand of a wali, they are Quran and the Hadith. We have to believe they are true. But giving them importance, our predecessors never gave any importance to them. On one occasion, this pious person in whose company a man came and he for many years, one his spiritual master, he said, I stayed in your company for so many years, but I have not seen any karamat happening on your hand. I have not seen any. So, we want to see some karamat happening on a wali's hand, so that we can believe in him and we become his admirer. Now he is a wali. He said to him, as you stayed with me, he said, so many years I stayed with you. He said, have you ever seen me doing anything against or contrary to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ? He said, no. He said, what could be a bigger karamat than this? Following the teaching of Prophet ﷺ and following the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is the biggest karamat. But unfortunately, today we have turned away from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. We don't give any importance to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, or we don't give any importance to the people who are, so on, and this person, wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The real wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is not Allah ta'ala, is He who follows the footsteps of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is the true wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always keep this in your mind. So then this boy, he made a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said, oh Allah, you grant him back his vision. And he became, his vision was returned. Now the word spread more now. This young boy, that he can restore the eyesight of blind people until. And the king, he was an infidel. He would force people to do the ibadat of the statues. So he called the monk and the blind person and the child and the boy. I give you option. If you want to stay alive, then renounce your faith on this. They said, we will not have brought believe in Allah, worship Him. He ordered that they be killed. The monk was killed and the blind person was killed. But he said, well, this is a young boy, we give him a time. He appointed some few people to take him to the peak of. They took him, and eventually Allah took the boy to throw him from the top of the mountain so that we could kill him. They fell and they died, and he safely returned back. Then the king, he ordered he should be thrown into the sea. They sunk into the sea, and the boy safely returned back. And then eventually the boy, he said to the king, if you want to kill me, then you have to listen to me. I will give you the method. I will show you the method how you can kill me. He said, here, take this, my arrow, and place it in the bow, and then you strike it at me. Then you will be able to kill me. But before you do this, you have to say what I am telling you to say. Say, Bismillahi Rabbi, with the name of Allah who is my Lord. Say this and you will be able to kill me. And they did this, they said this, that Bismillahi Rabbi, with the name of Allah who is my Lord. They struck the arrow at him. But all the people, they all became Muslim. When they saw this, they embraced Islam. Now the king was worried. The general public, they have embraced Islam. Now he told them, either you renounce your faith or you will be killed. And he ordered the trenches be dug, filled with the fire. 1,000 people were thrown in the trenches. They were killed alive. Amongst those 12,000, there was one woman carrying a small child. She hesitated. She was carrying an infant who spoke. Hesitate and jump into the fire. You are on haqq. You are on truth. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Allah hasn't tested us. And look at these people, they were put on a trial. They were burnt alive because of their iman. What was their crime? And that was they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they were burnt alive. We should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are living in a peace. Allah has not put us in a trial. The majority, they fail when they face the trial. But alhamdulillah, summa alhamdulillah, not put us in a trial. We are not capable of being in a trial. Don't put us, don't test us. Because if you read the history, you will find many people when they faced the difficulties and they just gave up their iman. They just gave up their iman. So look at this young boy and look at these people. And look at Sahaba Ikram. Why they were driven away from Makkah al-Mukarramah? Why? What was their crime? Their crime was only one, and that was they believed in Allah and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And from their home, everything. They had to leave everything in Makkah al-Mukarramah for the sake of Allah and for the sake of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There was no other purpose. They left everything there. They left everything there just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then eventually in the Quran, they were praised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Elders and my young brothers, we should always thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon the iman which He has given us. This iman is the greatest blessing one can have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to his beloved ones and those who are His enemies. But there is one thing that Allah only gives to whom. This is the sign that Allah loves us. Why? Because He has given us iman. Those whom Allah loves, He gave us iman without us asking Him. Without asking Him. All night we should thank in sajda for Allah. I very reason the ulama they say in order to have our iman protected and subhanahu wa ta'ala safe, and we will go from. So I ask this majlis and make it beings حسنة في الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.